was your question about Emancipated, Abby?
How do you think the runner hunter feels trying to catch Will Smith?
The runaway. Okay. Felt. Because it happened. The movie is based on a true story. Ask again.
How do you think the runner hunter felt trying to catch the runaways?
I believe hate is taught, and humans are innately good and virtuous. Humans can be taught at a very young age to hate. In the instance of that Southern belle in training, the little girl, they were sitting down to dinner and they were praying. They were literally praying to God. And the little girl looked up because she heard stirring. And that was the runner. She looked up with an extremely disdainful look on her face and said, "We got a runner." And she kept yelling it loud. She didn't say it matter-of-factly. She said it as though she hated that runner for running away, and rang the doorbell vociferously. Not the doorbell, the bell. And I think that shows that she was completely indoctrinated in the institution of slavery that teaches, imbues, and reinforces hate that man is not innately born with, notwithstanding a genetic misfire. So to your original question, the runner catcher best summed it up when he was brought up by a slave, and that slave was his friend. And when he asked the slave to eat with the family, the father said no, because the father said, if you let them have a crumb, they'll want the meal. If you let them have the meal, they'll want the house. If you let them have the house, they'll want all your property. And that is the type of rhetoric that justifies the unjustifiable. He was obviously not a happy person, yet it was imbued in his mentality, his psyche, his self-esteem, his emotional constitution to put down, oppress, using violence to reinforce the institution of slavery. Completely indoctrinated into all the values that slavery proliferated. I think if he went to a shrink and had a deep examination, because at the campfire he showed he regretted it, but then the conscious slavery propaganda took over when he said, we must kill anyone who has an idea. So when the other runner was caught with the gun and fell from the tree, and then he said, "We'll let you go. Tell us where he's going." Right? And he says, "You gotta kill anyone with an idea." And he used the N-word. Right? So I think deep in his heart, he knew it was wrong, but he would always allow his consciousness to take over. That's why he needed to justify it by saying, when he goes, "Okay, you're free to go. I'll let you go." He didn't honor his word, and then he shot him in the back. You got to kill any person like that. You have to kill anyone with an idea, like running to Grant's army in the southern swamps of Louisiana. How did you like that 6-minute answer?
Very thought out and detailed.
Well, what were you thinking when you saw the movie?
How is this livable?
It wasn't. That's why it didn't last. So, what did you think about his emotions? And I really like your question, because you're trying to understand. It's very easy to understand how, right, his wife said, "I don't want to be separated from my kids," so she ran her arm through the cotton gin, right, and shredded her so she would not be sellable, right? So she would just be a one-armed, and she made it look like an accident so they wouldn't just kill her, right? But then the slave women were, when they're little girls, they get sold off as future baby machines. So that was a danger of doing what she did, right?
Right.
So what made you think of that question to ask me about the runner catcher's feelings? I like it. Shows depth.
What made me think of the question is that he didn't seem like he was born with the hatred. The hatred is trained in, which I definitely agree.
Indoctrinated.
Indoctrinated.
The process is called indoctrination of the slave master's mentality. Can you say that? Indoctrination of the slave master's mentality.
Indoctrinated of the slave.
Indoctrination, because we're naming the process.
Okay. Indoctrination of the slave master's
Mentality. How do you think those beautiful plantations were made? Okay, so what else did you think about that?
I also think
Why do you think our family's helping minorities?
we're minorities.
No.
It's because it's the right thing to do, and people are people.
No. Everyone has a different. Avoid saying it's the right thing to do, right?
Right.
Because that runner catcher thought it was the right thing to do because he justified, right? Maybe I've been indoctrinated into some ill-formed way of thinking and behaving, right? Dude, you didn't bring my wallet, did you? Or Antonio's thing. Shoot. Oh well.